Hey there, Rare fans! The King of Elite Runners, Elite Godston, is back for more of my Pixel Gun 3D weapon stereotypes. This is number 6, the Minor Weapon. And without further ado, we're just going to go right away with this because there's going to be some type of little feature, not kind of like feature, but more likely a tiny little description on the ending part of the video. But anyways, without further ado, let's begin. Number 6 is the Minor Weapon. As you can kind of see, the actual main rarity itself is supposed to be rare, but I upgraded to Epic because it was supposed to be some type of specific clan task in general. Because I wanted to test it something out where I think it was a clan task or like a season task or something, where it said upgrade 5 weapons with any type of stuff, but it's supposed to be more likely leveling up your weapon, not like the rarity of it. So just keep in mind, the actual main category is rare, not epic. So I do apologize about that. And anyways, for my notes, everything is going to be mostly just resembles as a specific type of reference game, which is mostly just Minecraft in general. Because it's kind of like the same format, but just a little different setup. It says here on the description, it is a diamond pickaxe that attacks players in close range, but the downside has a low mobility for a melee weapon. Its appearance has a wooden handle with a diamond metal pickaxe / hammer edge. It somewhat resembles the look of a hammer with a blunt side, which is the one side you kind of see that's like flat like a pancake, and the other side is sharp. So it's more like a type of hammer or something. The performance. The player simply swings this weapon to attack the opponent in close range. It has no other attributes, which means like the effects for it, that makes its performance special, other than the melee ability, which is the effects. It is suitable for new players, but will eventually get replaced as there are much better choices when leveling up to level 65. The changelog is a little bit more interesting to me, which is kind of like from the older ages of Pixel Gun 3D. It says here, but one side note, there was no specific initial release date of when it was first introduced. I even looked up online. It didn't say anything, so the status for the actual initial release date is unknown. But anyways, with the actual changelog, it says for the earlier updates which is the initial release, but it didn't say specifically when it was first introduced. But however, in the later early updates for this one, it says right here, this weapon cost only $3 from an in-app purchase. But after that, it was shown as $1.99, but then after that, it was no longer cost for real money, since in a few updates ago, they added in coins in favor for purchasing items, which I think, which is the same category as for gems, if I stand corrected. I'm not even sure. But anyways, in the 5.0.0 update, the model was changed from a pickaxe to a half pickaxe / half hammer, which is kind of a little bit of the same concept and almost a little bit of the same format as Minecraft, a little bit, but they had to rechange it due to a few specific reasons. In the 6.3.0 update, it was included in the knife party. In the 12.5.0 update, the standard and upgraded version 1 of the minor weapon was unfortunately removed. In the 25.2.0 update, there was no announcement at all. It was a secret buff that this weapon had a damage increase. And there was going to be a trivia thing, but it's going to be like a super easy one anyway, but you already know right off the bat. So for the trivia one, I'm not going to do because it's just like a simple, super easy one already for it. But that's all for the notes I have. We are now going to do some gameplay of it, and I will see you guys on the first map. Okay, so right off the bat, we are now on our first map, and since it's a melee category, we're going to only worry about is just any type of weapons that can be used for melee only. And it's most likely going to be Knife Party in this one. But the only downside is that this is a rare category, for this one, but the only best thing about it is Epic, since like I said, I secretly added in, well, not secretly added in, like I had to do a test run with the specific type of task I was doing, and it was definitely more likely an actual season task, not a clan task, but it's still gonna be both same category for it, where you have to actually upgrade 5 weapons in its specific type of format, but it only has to upgrade 5 weapons to level it up. It just can't be rarity-wise for it. And this one's a pretty good, decent weapon already for it. But the only downside is about a specific range anyway for it. But still pretty decent, but like I said, there's probably... Pretend you did not see that. As I was saying, now I spaced out what I was gonna say. I forgot what I was gonna say! It's like right at the tip of my tongue, I just forgot! Oh, better weapons, that's what it was. I was drawing a blank because I got the environment elimination. But anyways, there's better weapons to choose from like higher up level points anyway for it. And I think it may be also be possible for cat spams if I do stand corrected, but I'm just not sure about it. Because most of these weapons I just mostly collect and whatnot, and for like low levels and whatnot, it's still pretty decent to handle, from my perspective anyway. And I do believe in my previous episode where I did the heavy machine gun, I may have forgot to post something in the comments section from one of my trivias, because I know there were supposed to be 2 trivias, but one of them I'm not going to say because of specific reasons. But the other one was mostly the, well, the other trivia was also like, where you can find this specific map for it, or like whatever it was, like the actual change of it. But I'm not planning on upgrading these to mythical because that's going to be a whole lot of gems to do anyway for its grind. And if you do get the head on this one, it's pretty decent anyway. I'm thinking probably doing 3 matches of these, and maybe hop over to deathmatch as well too and see how this goes as well. Because right off the bat, it's still pretty decent, but the only downside is that for deathmatch for a knife party, it's going to be a little bit more challenging because it's going to be like a free-for-all. While for team fights, it's just only like a 5v5 in this one. Pretend you didn't see that one again as well too. But yeah, I'm seeing some other folks using some other weapons as well too, and I did also notice as well too that the consecutive explosion did get nerfed because it actually just makes it go through walls. So that's the biggest downgrade about that. But some people still use it anyway, just per perspective-wise already. But I think for this weapon right here, for my guaranteed approval, it's probably going to be more likely a easy weapon to handle and whatnot, for like I said, or from what the actual notes say was for like low level and whatnot, which is pretty helpful and pretty decent anyway. But for better weapons, it's probably going to be most likely mythical tier, like you saw from the Bloody Terror axe, which is going to be a way, way longer thing. But I only got like 1 kill out of it from this weapon. But it's still going to be a little bit more challenging already for it, from my perspective. But anyways, back to the consecutive explosions ability. Most of these weapons that have the consecutive explosions ability was a little bit too overpowered because of going through walls one like classic pool and all that stuff. But it's like so annoying and you have nothing else to do, especially for folks that use like the Bertalius rifle. I mean, no, the Bertalius raft, sorry. Not the Bertalius rifle, I don't know why I said that. But yeah. But any with these weapons right here in general where you saw me just upgrade them previously, some of them are because they're a little bit more helpful. Like, if I do like them and they're OG type for cat spams, or if some of them are just more selected from testing a specific type of task. But, yeah, minor weapon, it's still a pretty decent weapon to use for low levels, but it still can be, like, higher up anyway. Because I only got, like, 2 kills from it from the second round, but it's going to be a little bit more tough anyway for it. Alright, here we go. And I'm also really happy for this one good side about this map as well, too, is that when you only play just a single, like, melee category type, the only thing about it is that, come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, the only thing is that you have to be, like, super up close for it, because the only ability is just a melee ability for it. Like, nothing else included, like the consecutive explosions, or healing, or bleeding, and whatnot. Like, you have to find a perfect spot to just get, like, at the right moment for it. And the only downside is that it can't be, like, area damage-wise for it. So that's a little bit more of a downside already for it. And I already know the perfect spot for my final rating from the scale 1 to 10 rating section for it. There we go. And I know this as well too, but some folks are just standing pretty still because they're just trying to type and whatnot. But I do have the game chat turned off, and my webcam's actually blocking the game chat already, due to specific reasons already. Yeah, this one we're probably not going to win this one already because it's really challenging already because of the area effect not included in this one, but you'll see exactly what I mean already for it. And plus, most of these other weapons I haven't seen in like a long time, or like from previous seasons ago and whatnot. Well, technically not previous seasons, more likely just decades of previous seasons for a very long time. Like future updates. Not future updates, past updates. And that's a pretty good upside about that. Not like downside, but more likely something else in general, but you actually know what I mean already. And I think I got myself eliminated by the flames, not the actual rhino animal thing. So yeah, I think probably after this one, we're probably going to do ourselves a deathmatch challenges and see how this goes. And I guarantee right off the bat, it's probably going to be way worse than this one because the I'm drawing a blank already. Because there's both of the same maps, but only like different modes, like team fight and deathmatch. But it's gonna be a little bit more difficult already. But I will see you guys in the deathmatch mode for Knife Party. Okay, we are in the deathmatch mode for Knife Party. And it could be a little bit more better anyway if I do stand corrected. But I think the only best thing about it as well, too, for Knife Party is that most of these melee weapons had to be no longer available in use, like the pulling weapons or the dashing weapons. And some of those I cannot actually do because of specific reasons. But I do know another method I can do as well, too, which is going to be raid minigames. Like the minigame raids where you see like Dead City and Magical Valley. For those ones, I can actually do. But the only downside is that it can't be used in Knife Party, so that's going to be a little bit more of a downside for it already. I'm still doing pretty good work on this, but it could be really better to use anyway for it. Like you can probably get it in with the headshot, but it's gonna be even more challenging because the player's just moving around too much anyway. But the best thing about it for this weapon is that, like I said, it's pretty decent to my perspective. But nothing else I can say for the most part. But if you get very lucky and just only have bots, it's a lot more better to do already. Minus the part about the combat yo-yo. I'm seeing why most people prefer the consecutive explosions ability better anyway. Like the Sons of Chaos, that's like so overpowered already for it. Yeah, you can kind of see I'm trying to like get the right timing for it, but the downside, like, you can't even actually get it because you have to be super close to it to be exactly what it's at. Because it's like a 2-block or a 3-block radius to be closer to the enemy. And there's no area damage included for it, unless we put the module on that has the damage radius around it. Yeah, I'm really having a difficult time with this weapon already. Because I already know what my final rating was going to be for this one, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult already to figure out what my actual rating was going to be for this one. Like, you have to be, like, directly, like, at the actual player itself. Like, not just, like, going, like, off-center. You have to be, like, directly, like, on it. And that's the most annoying one of all. Where you kind of see, like, the crosshair is a little bit more difficult because you have to wait at the right moment to be exactly where it has to be at. And I think for my best alternative method, since there's only like a minute left in the match, from my perspective, I will probably say for this one, it's probably going to be, for this weapon in the knife party section, probably better in team fight. Deathmatch could be a little bit more useful as well too, but the only downside is that it's going to be a little bit more challenging for all the free-for-all matches like Deathmatch, like I said, but I would probably recommend this weapon for only team fight only, because with the 5v5, it's a lot more easier to handle, but could be even more challenging as well too, like a harder task challenge for the Deathmatch. Yeah, the harder task challenge is way harder for deathmatch in general for this type of weapon, because with anything else in general, especially for the elite tier challenge as well, those ones are even super harder to handle with this type of challenge. Anyways, for my final rating, I would probably give it like a 5 out of 10, but the downside about with deathmatch and with its only single ability is just melee. I'm just going to drop it down to maybe like a 4 or a 3. But to make it a little bit more generous, I'll probably give it like a 4.5 to make it a little bit more almost in the halfway point for a 5. So my final rating, I would say, is 4.5 out of 10. The only simple reason I'm only saying that is maybe just have like an extra ability included for maybe just like bleeding or something, instead of just only just be like a melee type weapon. If it has like melee and bleeding and whatnot, it'll be a lot more better. But for just only just melee ability, it's just not going to work out, because there's going to be a whole lot of other weapons you can choose from anyway, with just only that specific type of weapon. But anyways, that will conclude part 6 or 7, I'm not sure. I think this one's part 6. And one side note I do want to point as well too, since I did say this from the beginning part, I may take myself a tiny little vacation break because specific reasons, because I'm working a long day stretch for work, and I need to do more game build design ideas as well too, because my season 2 game build is still under development. I did complete season 1 with the developer commentary. I still need to do some testing with it real quick and see, because some of the command blocks itself is a little bit more changed over a little bit as well too. So I need to do myself another test run with it and see before I start doing uploads with it as well for my season 1. And season 2 is still under development because it's like at the halfway point. It's like at the 45% out of 100 completion for it, making sure everything's working right as it is. And nothing else in general I could say at the moment, but like I said, I'll probably take myself a little vacation. I don't know when I'll be back, but it just really depends on how tired I am and whatnot, and also with other stuff I have going on as well, like game build designs, family stuff, and work-related things as well too. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, Merry Christmas, and Lightning Strike.